Hi guys, and welcome back to the podcast with myself, Lee Simons. This time around in the second podcast, we are going to do a season review with Thetford Town in the third overall Premier Division. So in August, we started those 9 months ago, on a nice hot day like it is today, on Saturday the 4th, at probably one of the favourites to win the league in Stowmarket Town. They got about 4 or 5 decent players coming into their team. We actually did have a really good go at Stowmarket with an attendance. There was 251 people there. As I said, on a really nice hot day, but wasn't to be. We lost by 2-1 with Volta scoring in the 82nd minute for us. I thought we were unlucky, really. I think we could have got a draw, could have got a win. I know we had a goal disallowed in that game as well, but it wasn't to be, especially with they've got Josh May, who scored 50 goals last season, but I really thought we could have come away with a draw at least, but it wasn't to be, so we had our first defeat of the season. So the first game we come to at home was on the Tuesday night, just a few days later. We were playing Great Yarmouth Town. Unfortunately, they went down this season. Nice little club, really, if you ever go to the ground. I know it's a little bit further away for the pitch, but great facilities there. You had everything there. So we played them at home. We actually won by 5-2. Brilliant result for us. With only 82 attendance on the Tuesday night, with Volta scoring again. Ross Bailey scoring his first goal of the season. Ian Frigate as well, he scored. Bruno scored, and Aaron Piggott rounding it off on the 90th minute. So we've got first 3 points on the board. So the second game in that week, we played on the Friday night on the 10th, Fakenham Town in the Cup competition. I believe it was the first round of the FA Cup Premier stage, where Timo Rotica, the brother of Volta, scored it just before half-time on the 44th minute with only 32 in attendance. At least we got through to the next round, and of course we kept a clean sheet and get Fakenham Town, one of our Norfolk neighbours. Then we played away at Whitton United, just off the A14 at Asda. They were a promoted team last season, done pretty well throughout the season as well. We managed to get a 1-1 draw. Could have been better, as Will Viner in the game, in our goal, saved a penalty on the first 8 minutes of the game. But then Andrew Wood scored for us in the 11th minute, making it 1-0 to us. But unfortunately, we didn't come away with all 3 points. Whitney United did manage to score an equaliser, making the score 1-1. So then we come to our next home game, a game against Fakenham Town. This is where we saw Ross Bailey's thunderbolt for his second goal of the season, and that's unfortunately his only 2 goals of the season. As I say, Ross Bailey scored on the 40th minute, Andrew Wood on the 58th, and then of course Michael Campbell, one of our strikers, is again scoring on the 87th minute. Of course, another promoted team, Fakenham Town, we scored. They scored 2 goals. We scored 4, so we were up to 5th. I thought, not bad. We could go on to up in our league performance from last season, which was 12th. So yeah, good signs on the game so far. But then we come back to the cup match, FA Cup, I believe it was, against Manchester Rovers on the Friday night on the 24th. Fortunately, we lost 5-0 at home. Probably one of our biggest attendances at home at Montford Road, where there was 121 fans there. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be for us. We suffered a heavy defeat there. But then it wasn't too bad in August. I was quite happy with the league performance there. Coming into league in the 5th position. But we're out of the FA Cup, which is a bit unfortunate. But then we come into September, where we go on a 4-run losing streak. I know there was a few injuries. There was players unavailable. But then we were at home on the 1st against AFC Clapton. We lost 3-1. Then it was my first away game of the season, away to Wroxham. We lost 4-0. It wasn't a very good match for us, but never mind. Then on the Saturday, the 8th, at Kingsley and Thetford, we lost 5-0. So not a really great start to the September there. Then we went to Great Yarmouth in the Vast Cup, I believe, and then we of course lost that as well, I think, by 1-0. Then at the end of September, it was Ely City on the Friday night. Not a bad crowd for a Friday night. There was 167 people there with John Kavanagh, who was online for us from Stowmarket. He actually got on the scoring sheet from 49 minutes, and then of course Volta 66 voided it in to make it all 3 points. Of course they did score just before the end to make it really nervous, but at least we hung on and got 3 points there, which is good. But then we moved on to a home game against Hadley United. I actually did go to Hadley United last season. Unfortunately we did lose 3-0 to them, but this time around we managed to win by 3-0 with Andrew Wood scoring 2 goals and of course Calvin Castro scoring after only 3 minutes. So not bad. So good to get back onto the winning ways. Two wins out of 2. Attendance was 83 people there, so it wasn't a bad performance in front of 83 fans there. But then we moved into October, the 6th of October, where this time we would go on our massive Norfolk Cup run. Of course, we did get to the final against Deer Town, but I'll come on to that shortly. So on the 6th of October, on the Saturday, we played East Harling away. We managed to win by 2-0. There was a free kick from Volta, who scored after the 50th minute, and then of course again, only 5 minutes later, scored again, making it 2-0 to Thetford Town. Brilliant. We're into the next round of the Norfolk Cup. But then went away again to Norwich United. That wasn't a great performance there by the boys. Did keep going, but we lost by 5-0 at Norwich United. Norwich United are a pretty good team in this league. Could have done better, but well, we just scrapped that off. And then it came to the Friday night just before the Saturday, the 20th. We played on the 19th. Friday night again, Wroxham. Wroxham at home, we lost 5-1 to Wroxham. Wroxham seemed to be a pretty good outfit in this league, but it wasn't to be again, but never mind. And then we come over to the Saturday the 27th, so we had 6 days to recover and played Haverhill Rovers at home. Unfortunately, we lost again by 2-1. I think Volta actually scored in that game as well. So, but it wasn't to be for us. We lost by 2-1. Never mind. So then we come into November, looking to bounce back from our kind of rubbish league performance in October after losing to Norwich United 5-0, Wroxham 5-1, and of course Haverhill Rovers 2-1. So we started at the promotional side, Whitton United. We won by 5-0. Absolutely brilliant. I believe we did beat Hadley United last season by 9-0, but 5-0 at home. Pretty good performance there by the boys there. 5-0, good start to November. Then we came up against Clapton, who did beat us 3-1 at home, but of course we lost 3-1 away. So pretty disappointing. So they took all 6 points off us, unfortunately, but never mind. And then we played Galston, Norfolk Cup. Of course, another Norfolk side, of course, as it's been Norfolk. We beat Galston by 3-0 in the cup competition. Brilliant performance there by the guys there. Well done to them. So back onto the winning morale there. Then we come across Brantham Athletic. We won by 2-0 in the league. not bad for us. November, 2-0 win. That's good. Needed that, which is good. We needed to pick up the points here. Then we moved in to December, where we played away game to Long Melford, 2-2 draw on the 1st of December. Yeah, not bad little game. I know this season Long Melford they were the I think they were the Challenge Cup winners. Of course, they narrowly got through, so survived on the last day against us at home. I'll come on to that very shortly. Then we played one of our neighbours just down the road in Newmarket Town. Lost by only 1-0 there. What can I say? Could have been better. Hopefully it could have been better, but never mind. But then we come on to my next away game I went to, which was on the Saturday the 15th. I actually had a Saturday off for a change. Brantham Athletic, I have to say, whoever went to that game, I salute you, because that was a bitterly cold day that was. We lost by 2-0. I believe Andrew Wood, who was our striker, who did sign for him, I believe, at the beginning of December, actually scored both of the goals for Brantham Athletic. You can actually check that out on Twitter, on alsimes82. All the highlights on that game are on there. Unfortunately, we couldn't capitalise on that. So then we moved on from that 2-0 defeat to Manchester Rovers in the league on the 21st, just before Christmas. We lost 2-0 at home. Not a great start to December, unfortunately. I know we've had lots of injuries, players not available, but what can you say? Never mind. So, Boxing Day, Walsham Le Willows, another defeat, a 2-1 defeat away to Walsham Le Willows, and then again on the Saturday, just before New Year's Eve, Kinkley and Pakefield, 2-1 loss there. So I don't think we actually won in December. No, we didn't. So then we move on to the new year. In January, we played Woodbridge Town away. Of course, Woodbridge Town, they did come up as champions last year, I believe. They done pretty well, actually. I think they were runners-up in the league. Unfortunately, we lost 3-1 to Woodbridge Town away. Not looking. I thought we were going to have a better start to January, of course, 2019, and then we played Galston, of course, Norfolk counterparts here. We actually beat them by 3-0 at home on the Saturday, the 12th of January, where there was only 65 people there. Not bad. I know we said about getting back to winning ways, and we did, which is good. Then we played Framingham Town away from home. On the 19th, we actually won by 3-2. Not bad. Definitely were needing that result. Then we come to the Norfolk Cup again, where we were visitors to Wyndham. We actually lost to the Wyndham Town last season, and it's probably, I think, about the same sort of time as well. But that was an extra time. I think we lost 2-1. But this time around, we actually won by 5-0. What a good result there that was. I think Robbie Priddle actually scored a hat-trick in that game, so I'll take that. And I think Volta scored the 2 goals as well, and maybe someone else scored. I can't remember who it was, but yes, so good. January 2019 looking very good, apart from that loss to Woodbridge Town on the 5th of January by 3-1. But then we moved into February, where there was only 3 games in this month. We started with Norwich United, where we won by 3-1. What a start by us. I was quite happy with that result there. And then one of the games of the season, really, for me. I actually streamed this live at home to Histon FC, who were actually the winners of the third and Premier Division, where Sam Bond scored the equaliser. I thought we were going to hang on or maybe get something else, but then that Max York, who scored unbelievable. I think he scored about 25 goals for a centre back for Histon. Managed to get all 3 points for Histon, but I'll take that. I really did take that. The performance was there. We were fighting for everything in that game. But then we played Newmarket Town away from home. I believe it was a 1-1 draw. Of course, you can take some of these games you can actually see on the YouTube channel from Thetford Town. Go and support them. Hit that subscribe button for them. Go for it. Let's make this happen. Then we moved into March, where there's 7 games in March. We actually won 3, lost 3, and drawn 1. So we started with Ely City on the 2nd of March. We won that game by 2-1. Doesn't say how many people were there, but I'm quite happy with that. So that's a good start in March. Then we went to the semi-finals, Norfolk Cup. We actually went to the arena in Norfolk, FA. Not a bad little stadium, I can say. But we were off against a tough competition, really. Mattershall. We did score 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. I thought, this is a result here. We could go along and beat them quite convincingly. But no, give Mattershall credit. They come back and won a penalty, scored the penalty, and then that was half time, 2-2, and then we went into extra time, and then of course we did manage to win the game by 4-2. We could show by the fitness by the Thetford lads. They were fit. Marshall had nothing left in that game. We played really, really well. But then we moved on to the Saturday, where we played Galston again in Norfolk derby. We won by 4-2. Brilliant result that was for us. I was quite happy with that, winning by 4-2, and there was 110 people there. I was quite impressed with that. Very impressed with that. Then we moved on to our next game, which was Histon away. I believe it wasn't really the 1-0 loss what we deserved, really. I believe that we could have won. I believe they could have had a man sent off, but they didn't. But what can you do? What can you do with Histon? We were basically on the roll for that game. Then we moved on to Thetford against Stowmarket Town. I believe there was 300 people there. But it wasn't to be for us, because Josh Mayhew, as I was saying earlier on in the podcast, that he scored 50 goals this last season. He actually scored 25 goals this season. Not bad, but he did take the advantage and scored after the 25th minute. Then he scored again on the 31st minute, and then it was all said and done with Chaplin scoring on the 35th minute, making it 3-1 to Stowmarket Town. Lot to do for the home side, but then unfortunately Sam Bond got sent off on the 77th minute, and then Volta scored on the 85th. So bad day at the office there. So we're kind of looking over our shoulders, really, to see if we can survive, because we were looking at near the bottom table, especially with Great Yarmouth picking up points, Long Malvern picking up points as well. Even Hadley were looking pretty good as well. But we managed to hang on. But then my last away game of the season was against Scott Manchester Rovers. 1-1. They did take the lead probably just before half time, and then we scored a penalty thanks to Volta. I was quite happy with that. 1-1. Could have actually won that game as well. Then we come back with a bump against Woodbridge Town, losing 4-1 at home to Woodbridge Town. Of course, they were runners up in the league, which was pretty good for us. Well, for them anyway. Not good for us. Then the most important game I actually went to the Great Yarmouth game. That was unbelievable. Their goalkeeper, I have to say, who was on loan from Leiston Town, Charlie Beckford, I think he was saving absolutely everything. We even saving from point blank range from Volta. We had so many chances in that game, but then there was a free kick probably 10 minutes before the end of the game where they took all 3 points, 1-0 to Great Yarmouth, and I was thinking to myself, we need to really win for the next few games. But then we didn't do that against Haverhill Rovers, losing 2-1, agonising 2-1 loss there on the 9th with only 3 games remaining. So we had a game against Hadley United. I did actually tweet about it to a guy called Grand Hopper Mick. He actually went to the game and he scored a thunderbolt from Elliot Gibson. I believe that's still on Twitter somewhere. We actually won that game by 4 goals to 1. We needed that win. Most important, precious 3 points overall in that game. And then we played Walsham the Willows on the Bank Holiday Monday, 4-2 winners. Quite happy with that. Let's see how many people were there. If it tells me, no, it doesn't tell me. So we won 4 goals to 2 then. The Long Melford, they actually needed a point, I think, to stay up. And of course, they actually did do that. With that, they actually won the game by 3 goals to 1 at home. So we were unlucky. But at least we stayed. I'm quite happy with that. We stayed up. We got into the 14th position of the league. Quite happy. At least we can now build on something else. We did have the top goal scorer in Volta scoring 30 goals for the season. I was quite impressed with that. But then we moved into the cup competition, Norfolk Cup's final at Carrow Road, Durham Town. What can I say? The boys done an immensely credit to the club there. Narrowly losing by 2 goals to 1 in the extra time. Quite gutted about that. As I didn't go to the Challenge Cup last season either. We did play Brantford Militant and lost 4-2 to them at this town the previous season, but we were very unlucky against Durham Town. But nevertheless, we've got some highs and lows for the season. I know in December we didn't have a great start to the month, but it's looking good. So the next podcast, what we're going to do is going to be, I'm going to go through all the player ratings for the season, and then hopefully we'll try and get some players to actually join me on the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed the show. So please leave a comment. Please leave me some feedback, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys. Cheers. Bye.